Hi everyone, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much. This is the daily forecast for all signs. It is a broad spectrum reading. I do speak in broad terms. You need to figure out if and where it fits in your life, if at all. It is originally created for Friday the 3rd of March, but it's not solely set for that date. If you're seeing it on a different date and it makes sense to your situation, by all means utilize it. For those of you that watch regularly, this is just a continuation of the energy that we've been looking at. I will be referring back to the Sunday underpinning energy, so if you hear me talking about cards that are not in this reading, I'm referring to that. That populates in the lower left-hand corner of this reading. You can watch that after. For those of you that are new, please check out the drop-down menu underneath any of my readings. In there is housekeeping rules, what decks I'm using, how to follow me on social media or request a private reading from my Facebook business page or my Instagram account. Know that I will never solicit you for a reading. What else? Easy ways to support the channel. Please hit that thumbs up button, subscribe if you feel so inclined. Leave me a question or comment. Or share the video out. So let's see what's going on in the cards today. What do they want us to know? What energies are around us that we can use collectively? You need to figure out, I do speak in broad terms, so you need to figure out if and where this video fits in your life, around what situations. Alright, there's one deck down, and that card is the Eight of Materials. So this is the Eight of Pentacles. Materials is the Earth energy, right? I love her, actually, with all those roses. The Eight of Pentacles is about... Wow, I'm drawing a blank. What is the Eight of Pentacles? Seven of Pentacles is him working really hard. Eight of Pentacles, oh my god. I am drawing a blank on the Eight of Pentacles. I mean, eights are about balance. 1 second, I need to find the Eight of Pentacles. Give me 1 second, because I am drawing a blank. It's early in the morning, guys. What is the Eight of Pentacles? Oh, the Queen of Swords is inverted. That's weird. Seven of Pentacles is... Oh, Eight of Pentacles is the apprenticeship card. I couldn't think of it at all. It is about working hard on a certain area of our life, maybe taking focus. We've been seeing a little bit of adversity in this week's cards, right? We had the Ten of Wands underpinning in the Sunday reading, so we may be dropping a burden of some sort and reassessing what we need to do in our 3D world and where we need to kind of put in work, focus, our own special touches towards what it is we want or how it is we want our relationships, our world, our work, our money to be. What I like about this card is this deck I really like, because there's a definite like divine feminine presence in all of the cards. Look at the beauty that she's creating, all of the roses that she has stemming from all of her different arms. She's giving me kind of like a Kali influence in a way, without the like violence or anger. But like the idea of the large rose here has her creating from her hands smaller roses, right? The ideas that we have in our head right now, the thoughts, the perceptions, after having dealt with the adversity, allow us to create maybe in smaller versions, step by step, because Pentacles energy is a bit slower. But as we like listen to our thoughts, our higher intuition, and bring that down into our mind and begin to set our attention towards that work, we have the ability to create that beauty, that harmony, that Empress at the beginning of the week was telling me about. The Ten of Wands in the midweek allows us to let go of the things that are in our way of like us creating this, right? So I feel like there's a room for growth here, expansion. But that expansion and that growth is going to come from our attention, where we place our attention, the work we put into it, our attention to detail. And the Eight of Pentacles is always also, it being the apprenticeship card, it's like, it's a skill set, a thought, a belief, a talent, a knowing, an experience that only we have, that we can place into the work that we do, the attention to detail that we take, to really focus that attention and energy to begin to create palpable, real results, right? And I feel like she's got quite a few different sort of irons in the fire, or no pun intended, or roses at hand, right? There's blooming, beauty, renewal in this card. And there's a certain amount of joy. Like, we're enjoying this work, hopefully. We're enjoying this new turnover. The Pentacles is also oftentimes going to associate us with being grounded, connected to what it is we want and how it is we want it. The Eight of Pentacles is about being willing to put in the focus, the attention, the work towards making that happen. Sometimes even needing to sort of shut out other people, their situations, their needs, and just solely focus on what's on our mind. That giant rose on her head, right? Where's the beauty in our life? What are the gifts, the goals, the achievements we want to create, and begin to set about doing it. The Eight of Pentacles says that we have the skill set to do that. We just need to give it the focus. I just noticed on the bottom of the deck is the Sun card, which is highly affirmative. What we need to do is take that focus and put it at the forefront today, regardless of what's going on around us, even if we're still experiencing some of that, the fallout from the Devil card that we saw yesterday and the Tower and the clarifiers the day before. Things can definitely be shifting for us, changing. Assessments might need to be made. There might be negative influences around us, obsessions, fears, worries, but that's not stopping us. The Eight of Materials or Pentacles tells us to take that more pinpointed focus look at what small steps can we take to, or actions that we can take to create more of what we want. And this woman is creating all over the place. So I do like that. Let's go to the Miracles Now card. To relinquish control, I simply let loose and allow myself to be more childlike. So there's a joy in all of this, right? There's a beauty in all of these roses that she's creating. There's a beauty and a desire, a harmony, an alignment that we should be tapping into today. And from that alignment, our inspirations we should be really focusing on and placing actual practical, functioning, physical steps towards taking towards. Relinquishing control of how the outcome comes or the steps that need to be taken or in what order we need to take those steps. We should intuitively know and be able to just take, very pinpointed action towards it. Have fun with it, play with it. There's a joy with all of these flowers. There's beauty all around her. There's growth and stimulation all around her that allows us to use this energy to start fresh, anew, not necessarily a new path, but taking new steps towards that with which we want, and letting go of control of the things that we couldn't control, that were outside of our control, that were no longer serving us, and letting them go and enjoying ourselves again. Let's go to the clarifiers. We have the Moon, which is Pisces and Cancerian energy. It is major arcana. It can sometimes be about disillusionment, darkness, confusion, not being able to fully see all of the answers in front of us, but I don't think that that's a bad thing. I think the Moon requires us to tap into our intuition and also focus on ourselves and what we need, even if other situations around us aren't being clear, aren't being precise, they aren't giving you all the information you need. That doesn't need to stop you. The Eight of Pentacles is balanced and productive, focused. So there could still be sort of like this confusing influence or an influence around us where the answers aren't all fully there yet, but that's all right. Relinquish that control and be childlike. Allow yourself the freedom to be like, okay, you want to act that way, or this situation wants to give me resistance. Well, that's fine. I'm just going to work on this right here, which is my dream, my desire, my beauty, my harmony, and continue forward. The next card is the High Priestess. Wow. Also more Piscean energy. It's funny to me because we are in Pisces season, and today's the reading for the 3rd, but I know on the 2nd, Mercury, how we communicate, how we think, moved into Pisces. The High Priestess is a pillar card. She's highly spiritually connected. She's also sometimes about secrets. What this tells me, in my opinion, is that whatever our Eight of Pentacles is, whatever joy or control we're relinquishing in a situation, we can back off and trust in ourselves, trust in our spiritual intuition, trust in our connection to our moon per se, even if it's maybe hidden, confusing, unknown, unpredictable, or outside of our normal steps or behaviors that we would normally do, something very strongly in our intuition and maybe in that Pisces Mercury influence is influencing how we communicate, how we think, and what we're doing. And this communication feels very internal to me. This Eight of Pentacles is also about, focusing our energy productively in the 3D towards what it is we want, with regardless of what's going on around us. It's usually shown as a man working very hard at just those pentacles right in front of him. He's not paying attention to the environment around him. He's solely focused on what he needs to do to move forward in his productivity, in his bliss, in his happiness. And then the last card is the Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands is about spirit. It is about fast forward movement. It can be a declaration of love, but you know what? This declaration of love can be a declaration to ourselves, to something that we love. That's all of these roses that we see in the Eight of Materials. Making a commitment to move towards a higher spiritual commitment, towards moving towards what it is that we know that brings us pleasure, that will move us forward in our 3D world in a way that is like harmonic, that creates beauty, that sings to our soul, because wands would be also the spirit. The High Priestess is extremely spiritual, and the moon, albeit a little confusing, the moon is about trusting that deeper sense of self, even in the darkness, or even when we don't necessarily feel like we have all of the answers right in the forefront, just being told to us. Let's go to the grounding stone. My alarm is going off. Sorry, guys. And the grounding stone today is promise. Give me 1 second. Let me go shut off my alarm and I'll talk about promise. Now with promise, what I always say is promise has two meanings. It's like a promise to ourselves, a commitment to ourselves, and I feel that in the Eight of Materials. It's also this commitment to relinquish control and be more childlike, find joy in the things that we're trying to pursue. There's also a promise or a commitment to ourselves in the High Priestess, and even into the moon, of trusting our deeper subconscious push, right? That might be happening within us, even if it sounds different than what we would normally do or doesn't necessarily always make sense. We have to trust it a little bit, especially with the High Priestess there, because she is secret spiritual information, but it's ours alone, is my feeling, right? So we need to make a promise or a commitment to that. And again, the underpinning stone for this week is about respect. So respecting those inclinations, those pushes from our deeper sense of self, and moving forward in the Eight of Wands with that direction, with that passion, with that fire towards what it is that we love, whether it's a person, a situation, a choice in our life that brings us more joy, beauty, and doing the work, right? And enjoying that work in that childlike, that relinquishing of control, and allowing yourself to be more childlike, to take pleasure in this. Promise also represents the opportunity that this idea, this commitment, this shift, this change, this dedication to one's own higher sort of internal information or higher self information that could be coming to us during this time, it can be potentially filled with all sorts of promise and opportunity that we don't necessarily fully understand yet, but it will make sense as we continue to commit to it and move towards it, right? Let me see what the end of the week card was. It's the Three of Swords. That Three of Swords does indicate heartache or pain, but remember that Three of Swords that we saw had that clarity of the glass heart. We may have been through some rough periods in the past, and we are assimilating some of that knowledge into spiritual wisdom that is allowing us to find that clarity so that we can move forward in a way that is directed, productive, fruitful, taking physical action, but listening to our higher spiritual senses as we do so. So I hope that makes sense, you guys. If it does, please leave me a question or comment and let me know. That is your reading for the day. Please tune in tomorrow. Like, share, comment, subscribe, share the video out, and let me know if you guys are feeling this energy, because it's really intense and there's a lot of opportunity here for big change. And play with it, have fun, be childlike. Take care. Bye-bye.